All right, folks, back on the Bossman show, a special guest for you. Northwestern State Demons new head coach Corey Gipson out of Southern Conference down in Louisiana doing big things already. Coach Gipson, good to see you, man. How are you doing, brother?
Man, everything is fantastic. I appreciate you having me on the show. Looking forward to kicking and vibing with you, man. Appreciate you.
Anytime, brother. Coach Gipson, let me just ask you this, man. You started off with Austin Peay after junior college, man. I'm a TSU Tiger grad, so I know how it is with the governors up there, man. So we had a little rivalry about 24 there. But from going from Austin Peay now to being a head coach, man, how's it feel, brother?
It's truly a blessing and it's really humbling. In this coaching profession, there's so many other people, across the land that are deserving of opportunities. And so, when we get one, we have to really, take into account of people that have been before us and people that are coming after us. And we have to represent and uphold each situation with integrity.
No doubt. And, for you, coach, you've been a coach for years. You've done your work. You put in your time, man. So what about this opportunity where you said to you can say, hey, this is a good job for me and my family to go down here and then leave Missouri State now, take up my leap of faith here and be a head-to-head man down here in Louisiana, man?
Absolutely. My wife is a prayer warrior. She gets up in that closet and gets down on bending knees. And when this situation came about, I noticed that light in the closet started going off a little more. And one day she came out there and she said, "Baby, this feels right." She said, "I got all the answers that I need to know." And when she said that, a sense of calm came over me because I know she's a spiritual person. And we don't necessarily make moves from a worldly standpoint. We make them from a spiritual standpoint. And so everything was aligned and everything fell in place the way it was supposed to.
No doubt. And you know what? I feel like this is a good spot for you because you're starting off fresh. These guys can see you give you your energy right now. I feel it over through this Zoom call, your spiritual energy and how you are as a person, how you're gonna be as a coach, man. And I feel like for these young men to have you as a coach is really a blessing because a true man of God, a true man of character, help mold young men to be better after college 40 years from now.
Well, thank you so much for those kind words. And all we can do is just be transparent in how we go about our business. And as coaches, we have an obligation to also be the best versions of ourselves. And we have to give those young men the best that we have to offer them. And that's number one is love. And number two is accountability and discipline. And, when you give them that, when you love on them and you give them accountability and discipline, those ingredients come together real well.
No doubt, coach. I'm asking you, my father's a coach. He's 81 years old, still have guys talking to him right now on his phone. He tells me all the time that I might be his only biological son. He's 1,000 sons. He always tells me, you're not my only sons. But what about this profession really touches your heart so much, coach? Because, my father said he wanted to help young kids here in Georgia. What kind of possesses you, coach? I want to be in this business here and help my young men and help guys grow and become great human beings.
I'm gonna tell you, your upbringing is very similar to mine. Man, I got so many brothers and sisters, not just in the U.S. but even global, that have lived in my home as a child growing up. And I remember telling this story to a dear friend of mine a couple years ago. I had some real good friends growing up that lived in my neighborhood, and there were times where maybe I wanted a new pair of shoes or a pair of shorts or a new coat or something like that. And I couldn't get it unless my dad could get it for them also. I couldn't walk around with a new pair of shoes and my friends didn't have a new pair. He didn't believe in me having it, but I was around him every day. So once he could get it for them, then I got it. So the way that I approach the game and the way that I approach these young men has a lot to do with the upbringing that I had, is because we all are one big family. And we're all on the same page, and we only got 2 rules in the program. 2 rules. The first one is do the next right thing, okay? And the second one is 100% buy-in, 100% of the time from 100% of the group.
100%. And that's kind of how my father was. My father always was about, doing the next right thing. He always talked about that. Even I say, "Dad, what should I do? What's the next right thing?" That's what he always tells me to this day when I talk to him. He gives me advice. I'm in my mid-30s, coach. So, I'm a little older than some of you guys you're coaching, but he's like, next right thing, son. And, for me, that helped me with my career in radio here. like finding the right niche to do my own thing, because I learned early in the game, coach, that hey, I couldn't be a co-host. I need to have my own show.
Hey, you talking about me and my energy? Your energy is off the charts. Hey,
So
look, we got to have you come talk to the team.
no doubt, I love to. So like I said, Dad, I said, Dad, I can't be a co-host. I got too many ideas out here. So that grounding he gave me, he said, just feel it in your heart and your spirit, do it. And I did it. Now, coach, it was some long nights, 2 to 6 a.m. The graveyard shift, me, trucks, and deers and concrete. But 3 years of it, now gave me the wham today. So it's a blessing. So any young men out here, like me and Coach Gipson, we're OVC guys. And look at us both now. He's a coach, and I got my own radio show that I own on my own fully. So we're both blessed black men in his world.
Absolutely. And God is good. God is most definitely good all the time.
No doubt. And kind of tell the same thing, Coach. Prepare to be a head coach. How'd you go about doing that? Like I said, when I was a co-host, I'm like, I knew I was prepared to be a host of my own. For you, how'd you prepare to be a head coach, being a coach for other guys you've coached with in your career?
You know, really, to be honest with you, that's a great question. In any profession, we have to make sure we don't skip steps. And sometimes, you know, it's very tempting to want to skip steps to try to expedite the process.
Yes.
But when we skip steps, what'll happen is that we'll start to have some holes in our life that will eventually need to be filled. When we try to expedite the process before it's time, we're all on God's time. So whatever that we have coming to us, it'll be for us, and in due time, when the time is right, it'll be presented to us. And so what I've tried to do in the way that I was raised, I've tried to make sure that I stay humble, number one, stay true to who I am, and not skip any steps. And just really waited on the process and waited for the right thing to present itself before me and my family made the next move. And that has always been my agenda and my motto.
100%, Coach. You know, that's so profound right there, because like you said, so many times we jump at the first thing. It may not be the right thing. And sometimes I know in my career, a setback has been set up for a comeback. You know, because I'll never forget, I got fired after my grandmother passed away. I got fired. I come back from burying my grandmother. I'm fired next Wednesday because I chose to spend my last weeks of my grandmother's life with my grandmother. I got fired. So I know what it is to have to, you know, find the right niche where it hurts in the moment, but also not knowing what God has for you down the road. So don't let that temporary setback stop you, set you up for a comeback. So profound, Coach, as well, man. And for you, man, you're a young man, I feel like will have the right temperaments, because your temperament, Coach, is great. You know, young men need to hear it. You know, I always be cursed out to get your point across. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like too many times in coaching, coaches tend to use the curse word to impact the young man rather than talking to them as a young man, help guide their path without having to cuss them out or make them feel down about themselves.
That's right. That's right. Hey, man, you know, kids and young men, and these guys are young men now. I mean, you take like college basketball. College basketball to me is the new G League. Okay, the point guard we just signed, he's 23 years old. I mean, think about that. He's 23 years old and still have 2 years of eligibility left. And so in saying that, is that in coaching these young men, we have to coach them like they're young men. They're not kids. And so we have to transform our mind and realize what we're dealing with. It's just like coaching a professional player. You know, when you're coaching a professional player, you don't just tell them what to do. You have to explain why you're doing it, because they may know it just a little bit better than you. They may know. If you're coaching Rajon Rondo, you can't just tell Rajon what to do. Rajon may know it just a little bit better than you. So you got to explain, hey, Rajon, this is why we're doing it. And he's like, oh, okay, I see why we're doing it, coach. It's the same way with coaching these young men in college now. You have to realize they were a boy when they first went to college, okay? Then they were a young man. And now with the COVID years and the expansion of that, now they are an actual adult by the time they leave in college. I mean, 23, 24, 25 years of age. And so we as coaches, we got to make adjustments too in how we articulate and how we relay our message.
No doubt, Coach. I see you now with Trey and Nate McMillan, who's been a great player, but Trey wants to know why, Coach McMillan. You know, Nate's coach for many years, but Trey still asks him why. And sometimes they'll disagree sometimes because Trey don't really agree with what Nate's saying. But it's like, but you said a great player's gonna question what you're saying always. So I see it all the time with these two guys. I'm blessed to be around it, but to see these two point guards go at it, it's kind of funny to see. Old school VV, new school all the time. It's kind of funny to see, man.
Oh, it's unreal. And you know this better than anybody. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care.
Yes.
You can have all the knowledge in the world, but if a person feels like you don't care about them, they're not even going to digest what you give them.
Amen to that. Amen to that, Coach. And you know what I love is this man with the new portal. I know it's kind of tricky, but you can kind of find the right fit for your program. Give a guy an opportunity who may need another chance elsewhere where it didn't work out the first time around. And so, do you see yourself going more high school route or JUCO, international, grad transfer kind of a team where you want to kind of mix all of it together and find the right mix of guys to get you where you all want to be down in your conference?
We're just going after the right guys. We don't care where they come from. We're going after the right guys. But what we're not going to do is this. We're not going to take the wrong guy, whether he's from in-state, whether he's from high school, JUCO, prep school, portal, what have you. We're not going to take the wrong guy and he beat us every day. Okay? But what we're going to do is that we're going to go after the right guy. And the worst that can happen when you go after the right guy and don't get him is that he go in conference and you have to play him twice a year in the regular season. That ain't so bad. Okay, and then you have to see him again in the postseason, the conference tournament. So you play him 3 times. If he's that good, then maybe he's good enough to help his team beat you 3 times. But what we're not going to do is waste any time taking the wrong guy, and they beat us every freaking day behind closed doors.
Amen to that. I've seen that too many times in different programs. I'm with you, Coach. I'm with you, brother. And for you getting hired early, how's it been getting to know the guys you have now on the roster? Maybe seeing what you got on court already because you get ready to kind of give them some things to do in June when 8 weeks come up for you all to prepare for the summertime here.
Absolutely. That's a great question. It's been crucial and it's been critical in us expediting the process of what we're transitioning into. Obviously, it's an adjustment because it's a change. And anytime you have change, sometimes change can be hard. But Coach McConaughey, has a great legacy, and we want to make sure that we represent his legacy the right way, and we want to continue to change in the right way to where we represent his legacy, represent the university, and just do the best job that we possibly can to represent this community.
I hear that, Coach. And let me ask you about my man, Rodney Hamilton, man. Guy I've known for many years from Tennessee State, man. Now he's coming to be associate head coach with you down there. Talk about what he's going to mean to your program and what he means to you personally, man.
Man, he's already helped in a tremendous way. I mean, in practice, he's so hands-on. He's very energetic. He's enthusiastic, very knowledgeable of the game. He's one of the greatest players to ever play at Georgia State. And so, everything that he says, the players, they hang on to every word. And it's just a matter of time before, Coach Hamilton will be running his own program. So, we're going to appreciate him while we got him. But I don't give him long. He'll be running his own Division I program one day.
No doubt. And Coach Gipson, when you come to Atlanta, man, where you love to eat when you come to town, man? Do you go to the varsity? Do you go to Buckhead? Where you go? You bring you and your wife to town when you were down here recruiting, man?
I'm going to tell you what we're going to do, man. Me and the wife, we're going to go down to Papa Do's, and I'm going to give me some of that black and gator to go. I'm going to get some of those black and gator, okay, with some good old biscuits on the side.
Now, I'm going to tell you this. This is for you and your wife. Raised on the river in Cobb County. She'll like that.
Raised on the river. They got
yes.
some black and gator. See, I'm down here in Natchitoches, Louisiana now. I'm all on the
Hey, see, they got everything you want down there, Coach. Right? Hey, I've done it, man. It's a good Sunday or Saturday brunch date. get out there and go down to the Battery Atlanta and watch a Brave game if you want to. Yeah, I think it's a good spot. Give you some good brownie points, Coach. I promise you on that one, man. I promise you good brownie points for you right on the river, brother. I promise you on that one, Coach.
Hey, I'm gonna tell the wife today. I'm gonna say you recommended Rays on the River. That's where we going next time we down that way. I'll treat you too.
No doubt, Coach. Coach, thank you for your time, brother. Look forward to doing this game with you real soon, man. I'll be cheering for you guys, man, and I look forward to seeing your success with this program, brother.
Hey, let me see you do it now. You gotta give me the fork and demon before you get off now. Let me see.
I got you.
There it is.
I got you.
All right, we'll see you, buddy.
All right, see you, Coach.
All right, later on.